All right, my gents, my lovers of history, my lovers of history. What I come to you today to say is that you have to understand two types of women today, growing up as a man today. You have your Eastern woman and you have your Western woman. And then you have a woman who has not been touched by either of those societies and cultures. So the Eastern woman, if you're not living in Eastern cultures, which is Africa, Asia, some of the Pacific Islands, some of the the Virgin Islands, the Antilles, those are all Western. So if you're not living in any of the Eastern cultures, you don't need to worry about Eastern women. But I encourage you to go and experience Eastern women. What I want to talk to you today about is the Western woman. In the Western world, in Western culture, Romanticism did not exist. If you go far back in history enough, all the way back to the Moors introduced courtship to Europe. Before the Moors, there was only sexual fantasies that the kings or the emperors or even the peasants would live out. Whether that was rape, whether that was tradition, whether that was wealth, which is what it was most of the time. How much money did you have to live out your sexual fantasies? That's what was going on in Europe before the Moors implemented or introduced courting, which is taking a woman's hand, asking her, and trying to show her that you can take care of her before you actually have sex, an agreement of having sex between you two and a man and woman. That was courting. Either getting permission, it grew into getting permission from her. It used to be to get permission from the parents, or to get permission from whatever lineage she comes from. But it was when the Moors introduced that to Europe, there was no longer any rape or I know I shouldn't be saying that word, but there was no longer any sexual fantasies that common people lived out. Now, yes, the kings and the queens and the emperors, they still practiced their own sexual fantasies that they had, because you can't. Power is there. There's always going to be corruption in power. They're always going to do. People who have a lot of power are always going to try and want to do what they want to do, what makes them, what pleasures them. All that's going on in America today is that women are coming into power, and what they want is to have a piece of Western culture. They want to have a piece of the Western power, which is having sexual fantasies and living them out however they want to live, doing whatever they want to do. That's what they're saying when they say that I shouldn't be judged. that I have enough power today to do whatever I want to do sexually. And a lot of these women are having a lot of sex, man. I mean, like, I've got stories on stories, and I'm going to tell y'all about these stories down the timeline whenever they come up. But the telltale of this is more than 2 or 3 women having sex with the same man. Now, knowingly, this is what I mean by women, want to have a piece of the power of Western power, is that they're having sex with the same man, and they know they're having sex with the same man, and they're actually having that man's children. And sometimes the man can take care of them. Sometimes the man doesn't want anything to do with them. Sometimes they don't even like each other. So sometimes they don't even like each other. She just likes the way that man looks, or she just heard that man got that yeah, and she goes and she tries to find out. And a lot of these women are prostituting. A lot of these women are sex workers, bro. Like, that's about half of women today, or a little over half. It's doing some type of taking their clothes off, or actually having sex for finances. And it's a lot of women making a lot of money off of that, because women are having so much sex today. Women are swimming around men and having sex today. Like, there's not that many women that are going to be able to say that they have only had sex with their boyfriends by 2030. Most of these women are having sex with other women. Most of these women are having sex with multiple men. Most of these women are having sex with someone else's, another woman's boyfriend or another woman's husband. Some of these women are having sex with men that are gay. Some of these women are having sex with the spectrum. Most of these women are having sex with the spectrum. Like, that's where I think a little under 50% of women are having sex to where there's nothing you can do new. Even if you threw a trans man at them, meaning a woman that turned herself into a man and has sex with girls. Bro, girls are even having sex with that. You cannot introduce most women today to something new sexually, and you cannot. A lot of these women, by the time that they get to their 30s and 40s, you cannot tell what or who or how many men or how many people, not just men, but how many sexual activities that they have done in their life. Not only because they're so good at covering it up, but because a woman uses sex as a weapon. If you was to ask her, what or who or what type of sexual activities that she has done, she either won't tell you or she will get offended because what she is using sex for is never romanticism. It's never to say, hey, I like you too. When a woman is having sex, it's to say, you have something that I want. Today, most definitely today, like 90% of the time, a woman is having sex with men. A woman is having sex with men to say, you have something I want, so I'm going to have sex with you. Or you're going to give me a type of feeling that is going to make me feel superior to other women. And that's why I'm going to have sex with you. Women, all these, I read an article the other day that said, some doctor that said that women have sex for all these different things. No, a woman has sex for two reasons. Either she wants something you have. Today, a woman has sex for two reasons. Either she wants something you have, or you make her feel superior to other women and men. That's the only reason these women today are having sex. Otherwise, bro, there's no romanticism. There's no, I really like you. I really like the vibe. I'm really into you. If that was the case, there wouldn't be so many of these relationships that when they break up, they're breaking up and they're never ever talking again. Like the breakup is so bad that they can't even, they can't even exist around this person. Like they just wish this person would die. If you feel like that after a breakup, that means you really didn't like that person. If you feel the need to do something evil or bad to that person, I don't care what was done in a relationship. If they didn't threaten your life, if you feel the need to, if they didn't threaten your life, if they threaten your life, okay. But no, not that it doesn't, and that's another weapon that women use, saying that these men are threatening their lives. If these men are threatening their lives, then women's intuition is a lie. Meaning that you knew he was going to threaten your life before you got into a relationship with him. Men are not good at hiding. That's not what we do. A man is not good at hiding. It's just a woman, like I said, when she wants to get in a relationship with a man today. You got something I want, and she was blinded by that, or you make me feel superior to other women and men, and she was blinded by that. All by her own doing. She knew the men that were good for her. She knew the men that were going to do something for her family and her lineage, for her mind and her soul. That's not the man she chose, because what she wanted was a man that was going to make her feel superior to other men and women, or that a man that she saw something she wanted, whereas that with his genetics, money, another woman wanted you, so she wants to take you from that woman just to feel better about herself, just so she can feel superior. These women are are fooling a lot of men today, to this day, but there's so much information that a lot of men are waking up. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have for today, man. I know it was a little all over the place, but it was just on my mind heavy before I went in the gym. And you just gotta keep your head up. And you know what I say in all my videos, search for the Eastern woman, because the Western woman is, I'm gonna say 90% of Western women today are horrible women. They are horrible women, and it's not their fault. It's both men and women's fault, because men let it get to this point and women encourage it. And then on top of that, social media propagates it again and again. So yeah, that's all I have to say, man. That these Western women today are just going back to the Western ways of dating. This is not new. This isn't something that social media created. No. When you look up a lot of men that were in power in Western society, they had a lot of sexual fantasies that they lived out. And women today, especially strong feminists, are trying to get back at those things that those men were doing by doing their own reign of sexual fantasies or sexual control over society. But remember the one thing I said, because feminism is highly in effect today, because feminism is highly active in the minds of women and men today, a woman only dates a man for 2 reasons. 2 reasons.